Get ready to dodge the government's army of 87,000 IRS agents in Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, the game where you play as a turnip who failed to pay his taxes and is now in an epic quest to pay back his massive debt, tear down the corrupt vegetable government, and murder any unfortunate bastard that gets in his way. Here's the story. You get a tax bill from Mayor Onion. Apparently, you owe the government $143,000 plus like 50% interest on your greenhouse. And if you don't pay that, they're gonna seize your house. You promptly rip that bullshit up and decide to speak with Mayor Onion yourself. He then basically tells you to shove it and indoctrinates you into a life of indentured servitude to pay off your debt, and tells you that your first task is to take care of some animals, threatens to murder you if you don't, and you set off on your quest. Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion is a puzzle indie action adventure fighting game that you can play with a controller or mouse and keyboard. You can play it on any of these fine platforms. That's too fucking much to read. And finally, here's the menu options. Blah blah blah, slow down, pause, you know the deal. What can I say about the graphics? It's a top-down pixel art indie game that's free on Game Pass and costs $15 on Steam, where you play as a turnip who beats other food, snails, and shit over the head. So it's not the most delicious turnip in the garden in that regard. But it's fine for what it is, and doesn't make your eyes burn out of your head when you look at it like you just got stabbed by a shard blade. Shout out Brandon Sanderson. Anyways, the plus side is you only need a GeForce 700 to run the game. Now, general mechanics. You can attack, you can dash your little turnip ass out of the way, you can go through portals, you can push watermelons and kick bombs. So what do you do when Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion? Well, you fight bosses, you go to Mayor Onion who tells you to do shit, which normally involves going somewhere, murdering some dudes, killing a boss, picking up the thing, bringing it back to him. There's side quests like this hairdresser that wants you to go find some hair dye, and for a reward, he gives you a haircut, which just makes you bald.
Just to suffer.
And finally, the endgame, where you ride a train and fight dudes to earn glory and cosmetics. It goes like this: fight dudes, fight a boss, fight dudes, fight a boss, fight dudes, fight a boss, fight the conductor who is just another boss. Each time you succeed, it gets more difficult by adding modifiers to enemies such as higher attack speeds, more HP, poisonous attacks, or just making them giant. Also, after boss rooms, you get to pick a buff for yourself. You got puzzles to do as well, like bringing this watermelon through portals to fill this hole in the ground, so you can kick a bomb over it to break these rocks to progress. The game is not difficult. I played on 1 times character strength, which goes up to 3 times, and this shit was pretty easy. Overall, if I were to rate the game's difficulty, it would be like a 0.3 out of 1. You'll die like a couple times on bosses, but after 1 or 2 attempts, you'll have no problem, unless you have an actual turnip for a brain. Although, we are pretty hardcore gamers. And now, the enemies. You got the fodder, which will either slowly walk at you like snails and worms, some will shoot shit at you like the sheep and donuts, or blobs will leave a big damaging puddle on the ground when they die. And they're these bosses who get a cool little intro cutscene. This is Liz, the mutated shitbag who pukes acidic vomit all over the ground, then grabs you with their long arm of the law and tries to pull you into the vomit. Then the deer boss who decided to play in some toxic waste and is mutating. First you fight in little bitch form, then in big bitch form. Finally, his final form! The fight is pretty simple. He just charges at you a bunch of times, you need to dodge and wallop him. Killing a boss is rewarded by being able to progress the story, as well as seeing an increase to your max hearts. Now here's the things you can pick up off the ground, otherwise known as loot. There's hearts that can heal you, equipable items such as the watering can, which will allow you to grow watermelons, portals, or bombs if you feel like administering a little bit of freedom to those in need. You got the Tome of Portaling, which you lift over your head like the heart of a virgin after you finish sacrificing her to the god of blood, and it creates a portal where you're standing instead of having to grow them from pre-established nodes. There's lots of pieces of paper on the ground for you to pick up as well. You can read them, or if you're doing an RP run, rip them up because you're a turnip and can't read. And for any of you that says, well, a turnip doesn't have hands so he can't rip anything up either, then I say to you, explain this. And of course, there's cosmetics. Here they are. It's all hats. Overall, Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion is a good game for what it is. It's not a big AAA game, and it was developed by a studio that literally says, we make really dumb video games. So if you're looking for crazy graphics and attention to detail, this isn't the game for you. If you're looking for a good fun game to play to pass the time, this is the game for you. I'm not going to harp on it too much, but personally I think this game could have been a lot better if they added more RPG elements, like maybe some magic and gear that gave stat points or passes in something. Maybe a skill tree, I don't know, but overall the game was fun and I enjoyed playing it a lot. On our patented 0 to 1 scale, we rate this game a 0.71 out of 1. If you enjoy our shitty ass videos, as always, please like and subscribe. Also, if you can't think of a comment but enjoyed the video, just comment on what game you'd like to see us review next. It really helps the algorithm and will pave us a path to success. Thank you, good night, I love you, and don't forget to use that coupon that the hardware store sent you. It probably expires soon.